In this video, I'm going to talk about the takt point of no return. The reason you want to know about this is because there is a point where if you are not keeping your pace, keeping your production, you are not going to finish on time. You are past the point of no return, so stay with us. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to explain a really critical concept. And I learned this, and I think it was actually a Aliens versus Predator movie. But in the movie, they're flying to Antarctica to do this mission. And the pilot says, we've passed the PNR. And somebody says nervously, what is a PNR? And the answer was, we're past the point of no return, meaning that we do not have enough, or they did not have enough fuel to return to where they came from. They had to continue going. They were committed to continuing their journey, or they would crash into the ocean. So that's where I got the term point of no return. So in takt planning, I love the idea that we identify either with colored cells or in the software or with line work or with just data or a date, our point of no return. And it really runs off of a pace. So let's say you have your time by location takt plan, and I'm just going to, instead of doing the individual wagons here like I typically draw, I don't want to waste your time. I'm just going to draw a straight line which communicates the wagons in that zone, in that sequence specifically. Okay, when we create a takt plan, we have our start date, we have our sequence, which in the first planner system you come up with as best you can. With the last planner system, which is a part of our system, you do a pull plan for that. Okay, you have your what you call your line of balance, which is the speed at which your train is going. So this is your line of balance. Let me go ahead and mark this as your sequence right there. Okay, and then you've established an end date. Okay, in a macro level takt plan, let's say that that's your end date. Okay, and we've talked about this before in other videos, which I can link you to, in your norm. And so this was your macro. Okay, so I'll just do this in black marker. Your norm, you're going to pull plan your sequence, and you're going to have a faster rhythm and pace because you have a different zoning strategy, okay, right? And it's going to look like a different shape, and you're going to fit, it has a different line of balance, and you're going to gain buffers at the end, okay? We also do this, and I won't draw it in too much detail, but you can also identify a backup pace for your takt plan. So what we're going to talk about is the takt point of no return. In the norm level schedule, that means the blue, so I'll write this as the norm. This is your production level schedule. There is a point where you can't recover it any farther with your zoning strategy. So remember, the green is your backup, right? So here's what I typically do. I will take this point and I'll move it over here to my substantial completion date, and I will take this incline, which is my backup. This is the fastest pace I could possibly go, and I'll draw a red line, or if you're in Excel, you might see them as boxes or, however. But this area right here is your takt point of no return. So let's just look at what it's composed of real quick in case I went a little bit too fast. So your takt point of no return is your end date. So probably this is going to be your substantial completion, okay? And the line here is going to start here at that end date. The incline of this line is going to match your backup, or your absolute fastest speed that you can go. And it's going to show you, hey, if any of your activities in any of these zones push into this red space, you are in the takt point of no return. Meaning that if any activities go into this space, into this geometric shape, there is no way you're going to finish by this date. So one more time, the end date, it starts here at your last activity, and the incline matches your fastest backup speed according to the realized flow potential video, which I'll link you to in the description below. So here's why I like to have this on our takt plans. A lot of times people will say, hey, even if I eat into this, I'll just trade stack. It ain't gonna happen. Your trades can't be in too many locations and just magically be able to produce work. There is a rhythm. And so this line identifies the absolute fastest rhythm at which you can complete your work on the project site. So here's why I really like the takt point of no return. I don't like this being just a blank open space so people think, oh, I've got plenty of time. Because then that incentivizes people to think, oh my gosh, I can just push things to the end, push, delay, procrastinate, and still finish. No, you can't. So I want people to see, hey, let's say that your activities, you got delayed and you pushed. I don't want them to think, oh, I've got this whole space. I want them to see, oh my gosh, that's what I have right there before I really get into trouble. So my recommendation is on every project, make sure that you identify your end date, make sure you identify your fastest pace, make sure you put in there this red shape called your takt point of no return in the norm level schedule, not the macro, in the norm level production schedule, so that as you're managing your takt plan, people can see the reality, and if they are having trouble on the project, or if we're at risk, we need to see that sooner rather than later so that we can take action. That's what I expect. I hope that we can put a takt point of no return on every single takt plan that we do. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.